Okay, so this video is going to talk about some ideas I have for this off-season document I've been writing up. Um, so here you can see on the first page, it's just a brief summary. It's like, who are we losing? Um, who is staying on the team? How many options does everyone have, or how many years of control does each player have? Um, uh, Darn. I just realized that I do not have Pena on this list, so I need to add him. I'll look him up later, but anyways, goals. So one is to cover possibilities of the trade deadline. It's 2 months away as of right now, and it could go a lot of different ways depending on how the Angels do in June and July. We could be fully selling off pretty much any of these players right here, or we could be buying in. Who knows? Hopefully, it's the latter situation, but we'll see. And then obviously, this is called the off-season document, so it'll be covering a lot of the off-season. Um, and that'll be in three ways. One is players to extend. So I hope to have written up something related to each of these players right here, saying, should we extend them, should we not, and why or why not. I've only written up 3 players so far, which are Raisel Iglesias, who I think we should extend, um, and then Kurt Suzuki and Dexter Fowler, who I think we should not extend. And I think these two are pretty easy let them walk candidates, whereas Iglesias could be a bit more controversial. There's multiple sides to the story. Um, but yeah, something like this I hope to have for every player who is going to become a free agent at the end of the year. The second, or sorry, yeah, extension candidates. Then the second thing is trade candidates. So of course, there's going to be a lot of teams buying and selling. I think with the situation the Angels are in, they'll probably be on the buying side, but we'll see. But we can explore a lot of different trade possibilities. And then lastly, of course, is the free agent class. So we are going to have a lot of money with Pujols off the books, obviously, and then up to next year. So there's a lot of different players we can take a look at, right? Um, so that's ideas for the off season. Um, I also have a section here of team controlled players. So players up here who probably don't make the roster next year for one reason or another. One player I've written about right now is Berea, who I think I don't think he's good enough for our rotation. I do write about in here how he could be good enough for the bullpen, or probably is, but we'll see how he's used next year. Uh, but yeah, and I also do want to consistently update this as the season goes along. So for example, right now, I say that Raisel Iglesias has really good peripherals. He has a 30% walk minus or strikeout minus walk rate, which is among the best in the league. And he does have a bit of an inflated ERA right now because he has a very high home run per fly ball rate and has a bit of a high hard hit percentage against him right now. But I argue that those things can definitely change and the luck will turn his way as the season goes along. But if, I don't know, July rolls around and he's still allowing a very high number of barrels, then maybe my mind could change about his candidacy as someone who we extend, right? And that's why I wrote the date that I wrote each thing, May 30th, May 30th. So yeah, we can see like how players progress over time, right? And this obviously doesn't have to happen to everyone, right? Unless like Kurt Suzuki goes off in the next couple months, I think he can stay as a safe, let him walk type player. But yeah, the next goal is to potentially include a lot of resources about baseball analytics, sabermetrics, things along that nature. There's a lot of types of different stats I use. For example, just in this Iglesias one, I use home run for fly ball rate, strikeout minus walk rate, BABIP, uh, xFIPS, skill interactive ERA, for example, right? There could be a lot of people who are just getting into the game who might be a bit unfamiliar with those stats. And it would be really cool if I could link to resources like, for example, the Fangraphs page that describes each of these stats, or articles that talk about players uh, who might look better or worse because of these newer stats. And I think just incorporating that would be really cool as like just a super huge document that any Angels fan could use to not only look at our possibilities this offseason, but also learn more about the analytics of the game as a whole. Uh, and lastly, I uh, obviously this is a ton of stuff. Like there are literal hundreds of players that can be explored in free agency, especially on the pitching side. So I'd love to figure out some way to like crowdsource ideas, right? Maybe a form where people can submit their explanations of why we should or shouldn't sign a certain guy, um, extend a certain guy, et cetera, et cetera. So that's definitely another really cool idea that I have and can flesh out later. But yeah, if you have any questions, just tweet at me, I guess. Yeah, and enjoy this. Thanks.